Hi. The next step in our progress through Theme 8 is to move on from earthquakes and start to think about the hazards that are created by volcanoes. Now, we've already looked at, or we started to touch, I suppose, on some aspects of this when we were studying Theme 5 a little earlier this year. We also need to tie this together with our understanding of plate tectonics from Theme 7. So we've already looked at some aspects of volcanic hazards. We need to always bear in mind with any volcanic hazard to consider the nature of the magma that's creating the hazard. That's going to be related to its plate tectonic setting. We know, for example, that at divergent margins or oceanic hotspots, we're most likely to get basaltic or mafic magma. That type of magma creates a particular set of hazards, chiefly to do with lava. In terms of threat to human life, though, it's generally not very significant. Whether we get volcanoes associated with subduction zones at convergent margins, or in continental hotspots like Yellowstone, for example, it's a very different story. That magma is going to be very different in terms of its composition, in terms of its properties, especially viscosity, how much gas it can trap, how much gas will be in there as well from this wet subducting plate, which can make a volcano far more explosive and as a result far more dangerous. We're going to start our study of volcanoes by looking at some of the products, some of the things that actually get erupted by volcanoes that cause problems. Now, if you haven't done already, stop the video now and watch the links to the 6 different volcanic products that I've given you in the lesson guidance notes. That will show you each of these volcanic products and what they do. Press pause now and come back to this video in a moment. Okay, having watched those videos, we should now be in a position to do the activity that's on page 10 of your Theme 8 booklets. I've given you a list of descriptions of the effects of volcanic eruptions. What I'd like you to do is I'd like to match the 6 types of volcanic hazard, the 6 types of product that you've just seen in those linked videos with the descriptions of their effects. Press pause now and have a go at that activity. Okay, so you were working on this exercise to match the hazards that you've seen in those videos with the descriptions of the type of things that they do. Let's have a look at some of the answers. So our first one here, which we know occurs as a localized distribution, depends on the viscosity of this product and is certainly a greater hazard to property than life, is a lava flow. The hazard that causes widespread health hazards to all living things, humans and animals, can also make the roofs of buildings collapse, particularly flat roofs, and can destroy in the short term farmland, although it does tend to be good for it in the longer term. That's volcanic ash. The hazards that are very local to volcanoes but are extremely destructive and, well, pretty much entirely fatal to life, with high temperatures, high density, high velocity, huge amounts of energy, are pyroclastic flows. The hazard that's distributed in the atmosphere does cause significant danger to living things in concentration. Even in fairly low concentration, can have some long-term effects on climate, is volcanic gas. Volcanic mud flows that can be very, very destructive, particularly around a volcano, particularly in river valleys. Tropical areas are really badly affected by this as well because of the high rainfall. These are lahars. And finally, the hazard that's very dangerous locally, but is restricted really in how far it can go. When a volcano collapses and erupts sideways, that's a volcanic blast, or a lateral blast out to the side. Okay, I hope you managed to match each of those hazards with their descriptions. What I'd like you to do now is have a go at the digging deeper activity. Can you rank these hazards in order of danger? You can think about this in a number of different ways. I'm not going to give you the, if you like, the correct answer to this because there isn't, strictly speaking, one correct answer. I just want you to think about the nature of these hazards. Put them in rank order, and then perhaps on a sticky note, can you justify your choice? Why do you think the one that you've ranked number 1, the worst of these hazards, is that? Why is the one you've ranked number 6 the least of these hazards? Okay, we can see from this exercise that different volcanoes can produce different types of volcanic hazard. And each of these different volcanic products creates a whole series of problems for life, for the environment, and for property in the area surrounding the volcano. Next time, we're going to look at one volcano in particular. I'll see you then.